Good morning.
Morning.
Very warm welcome to
What have I just read?
with Alison, with Malcolm, and with
The jingle.
the jingle. What have we? Oh, I'm not even there. What have we just read?
We've read Amos 7 today, and this is, which I hadn't realised until I read it, is where the plumb line comes in.
Yes.
You hear about this plumb line, and I always think, where's that? And it's, anyway, Amos 7.
But it's good. There's a bit of mercy here.
Yes,
a little
there's
bit
two
of mercy.
relentings, isn't there?
Yes, when first of all the locusts come and eat everything up, and Amos says it's too much, and God has mercy, cries out to God for mercy, and then there's the fire. We don't know what that is.
Yes.
That comes, and again he cries out, and God has mercy. Yes, and then the plumb line.
God sets a plumb line.
And what is this plumb line?
The Lord said to me, it's a plumb line. Well, I don't understand this bit. Sorry, I'm now answering with a question. I'm setting a plumb line in the midst of my people. I will never again pass them by. Does that mean in terms of he will always be looking at them in order to test them
Yes, it looks in the context of this. It's it's judgment.
to judge them?
And I mean, I've often thought of the plumb line. That sort of is to measure what is straight, and just sort of to measure them. And it's shown that they're crooked or they're offline. And God said, I'm not going to ignore it. And then we get this lovely bit. Well, a lovely bit. It wasn't very lovely, but with Amaziah coming in and.
Amaziah.
Amaziah.
Sorry, I did give you a couple of different
readings.
versions of that name.
Well, I'm going to say Amaziah,
Amaziah.
who's a priest up in the north, and he goes to the king and he says, "Hey, there's this prophet who's come from the south, who are our enemy, and he is prophesying against us, and he's prophesying against you,
Yes.
and he's saying that you're going to die, or we're going to be taken into exile, and we need to do something about it." And then he goes to Amos. Amaziah's quite busy, having gone to Jeroboam, and he says,
Quite busy.
"Go back home.
Please, we don't want you to prophesy.
We don't
here.
want you to prophesy, go back home, or bad things are going to happen to you." Amos then turns with a very personal prophecy against Amaziah,
Interesting.
which is pretty devastating, really, that he will die in an unclean land, he'll be taken into exile, his wife will become a prostitute, his sons and daughters will be killed.
And do we know if that's what happened when you read it in Kings or something like that? Do we know?
I don't think so specifically, we're not told about that, but we know that certainly the Assyrians come on the northern kingdom, on Israel, and destroy it, and Jeroboam is killed, and the people are taken into exile.
Yeah. But I rather like that in that through Amos, there's been these sort of prophecies, and you haven't really had Amos talking very much to people, but this part of it is a conversation.
Yes. Yeah.
And he actually talks about himself being a shepherd.
A shepherd, a herdsman.
Yeah, and not a
And then we move to 1 Corinthians chapter 6, and there's this very strange comment at the beginning where it says, "All things are lawful for me, but not all things are beneficial." And where it says all things are lawful, it's in quotes, and Paul is quoting something that the Corinthians have written to him. Because they've said, since we're under grace and we're not under law, since we can do everything, we can do anything we want. And they were doing anything they want. And Paul says, everything's beneficial, everything's possible, but not everything is beneficial. And so he talks particularly about food and sexual immorality. He says food is meant for the stomach, but actually it doesn't mean to say you can completely indulge yourself, because in the end both belong to God, food and the stomach. And then quite a big thing about sexual immorality, and the idea that when you have sexual intimacy with another person, you become one with them. And so he says, you know, and if your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit, don't unite yourself with that which is not of God, and don't become one with them, with God. Shun fornication. And then a lovely thing, you know, not a lot, but a quite wise thing. Every sin that a person commits is outside the body, but the fornicator, sexual immorality, you sin against the body itself.
And then, of course, at the end, you have this that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, and you've been bought with a price. So yeah.
So anything you do is it makes a real difference.
Yeah. So it's quite hard. It's quite hard teaching. I guess it's the plumb line. You know, the test God's plumb line. But just reminding us that our bodies belong to God. It's not just about our spirit, it's not just about our head, it's not just about emotional, spiritual feelings, but it is actually about everything that we do with our body.
Thank you. Yeah.
Lovely. Bless you. Have a wonderful day and hope to see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye-bye.